Good afternoon, lads. How are you all doing?
Good evening.
Hey.
Welcome back to the Boardcast. I'm really excited today. I actually genuinely am really excited.
You have a bit of energy. You know, for the last couple of weeks,
energy.
you've been doing good.
Yeah,
you know?
Because you have well rested.
Yeah.
it's much better. And I feel like I was super excited to come in, and we've been yapping for the last 10 minutes about the impending doom that is the crisis,
Global
right?
domination.
The economy, tariffs, houses, all good stuff.
All nightmares, right?
Yeah.
But I'm really amped up, and I've got to woosah back down and try and articulate the words and really think about how I come across to like the public
The
and
general
speaking
public?
and be even more clear, you know?
Yeah.
I've been listening to this guy's podcast that I really like, and he does 30 minutes podcast once a week where it's just him by himself, and he just talks about like subjects that he's researched and stuff that he's interesting things. And I just love that he can keep flowing the entire time. There's probably a bit of editing to make sure it's short.
See, I just already do that just in my own privacy, in front of a mirror.
just walking down the street, people looking
It's
like
me
crazy.
and like the Green Goblin mask. And staring at me. Me and my inner schizophrenia.
Well, I have had, I'm just as busy, if not busier than I've ever been. But there's a huge boon in my life at the moment, which is Sarissa.
Yeah.
Sarissa was introduced into the Boardcast for the first time when we did the town cry, I think, that we've which we will get to for Wheels today as well, right? But
That was the 1 year anniversary episode.
That's
It was the first appearance of her. But she's been working with us for a bit.
she's been she works for Burger Boy and at the boards. But the biggest thing is she can come in and open at 4, which allows me to finish what I need to do on the truck or at the restaurant instead of, because normally what would happen is I'll start at 3 or 4, 5 in the morning, which is that's a bit fine, but I work all day and I'm really stressed out to make sure that I can get to where I need to be the entire day so that I can finish and be in time to open the shop. And that can be super stressful because I don't want to have people sitting out, waiting outside. That's really unfair on the customers for Northern Boards. Like Northern Boards has to be our priority. But there's just sometimes like today I went down to Dawesville, which is about an hour and a half. It took me an hour and a half to get there, no dramas. On the way back, one single car lit on fire apparently on the freeway, it was a Mitsubishi Triton. The whole engine
Not
bay
an
was
EV?
yeah, no, it was a Mitsubishi Triton, and the whole front of the car was burnt away by the time I got there.
This is
But
a quick little tangent. Does it feel like there's been more accidents on the highway recently?
Yes.
the freeway is
lot.
absolutely fucked.
Every
single
like,
day in Tonkin.
Yeah, every peak hour on the highway has been a little bit of an accident. Like there's been one car holding up the street.
Personally, I thought it was me, and I'm just being old and complaining. But everybody I've spoken to, like I spoke to friends, I've got some friends who are police
feels
officers.
like it's getting
they
worse.
said that it's so hard to move around right now. The Mitchell feels like a just absolute nightmare. When the Kwinana, every day there's multiple crashes and it's just lockdown. And this day it took me 2.5 hours to get back. It took me an hour and a half to get there, 2.5 hours to
Wait,
get
let
back.
me ask you a question. Do you think the government, the WA government, will implement toll?
Toll gate.
It can't be
like toll.
They
like
won't be
Melbourne.
gates.
There's no gates. Like
nah.
there's all the like.
So
the
it'll be
arc.
automatic kind of,
Yeah.
you go through here, you got to pay.
The problem is, everything is artery, and I don't know where they put it. That's not.
Does that
unfair.
actually help traffic though?
It just makes you like, do you need to go here?
It tries to divert traffic away from
It's not
the busy-
divert. Like it's like, do you need to go to the city?
It's more about stemming the tide.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people just fucking around for the sake of fucking around that could probably get on the train, right? And in other countries where it's like ours, in big cities in America, and I know they do it in some parts of Europe, there's roads designated for trucks. Because it's no good for me trying to do my job, but it's also no good for you being stuck behind a truck. Because what happens is every bit of evidence and scientific study going into traffic shows that tailgating is the number one problem. Because what happens is as cars are moving together, one car brakes, it causes the next car to brake in line.
You get a ripple effect.
Yeah. So this car breaks, you only lose a couple centimeters. Then the next one's a few more centimeters. And by 500 cars down the
creates a
lane,
traffic jam.
halfway down the Kwinana, your brake has caused a 10, 20 meters breakage backwards. Like it's the stoppage of the time thing.
Yeah.
Now, if you're in a heavy vehicle, I can like sometimes have to roll to a stop. It might take me like hundreds of meters to even get back up to 40 kilometers because of where we're going. And this new design of the freeway entry with the traffic lights, it's a fucking nightmare for me because
You have to accelerate up.
yeah, I'm also starting at zero. Starting at zero in my truck, I'm not going to get to. If I put pedal to the metal, right, I'm not getting to 100 over the course of like 300 meters. It's not a car, and the same is for the buses that are entering. And I'm not even a semi-trailer. These things, especially. The Mitchell's not so bad, but the Kwinana, sometimes you're both going upwards onto the freeway and from a stop. Like, what are you doing?
I'm the first to admit it. Do they have cameras at the ramps, at the lights?
no.
No.
I've just been shooting it.
Oh,
I've
a lot
been
of
gunning
people
it.
do. I notice if there's not many cars, the people shoot straight through.
Yeah.
And what I will do is in the truck, if there's no cars, I just roll and I can time. I've been doing this a long time. I can roll and then hit it at the green. No dramas,
Gotcha.
right? In the mornings when it's dead traffic, because there's too many people looking at you, I find that people would adhere to it, except unless you're a guy in a ute with metal boxes on the back of it, like a tradie ute, they ignore it
He's got
completely.
places to be.
It's almost because again I'm doing this every day. It's almost like I'm waiting for it to happen.
The worst part is, so in WA, we've had like the entrance ways, the merge lanes into highways. We've had lights go up where the idea is that it staggers traffic. So one car at a time goes through to, I'm assuming, to slow down the entry into the highways and slow down the potential
Merging causes traffic jam.
There's the merging,
What
right?
it's actually trying to do is stop the congestion right at the city. Is trying to stop the cars piling up there.
So it slows it down up the street.
But the problem is in WA, because of our road system, is all you do is get off the traffic, like the traffic jam at the light, you enter the freeway straight into a traffic jam. If any time between 7 o'clock and say 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, every time you get on the on-ramp and off-ramp on those, you're just going straight from traffic into next traffic. So the whole point is that it's supposed to stop at 2 kilometers down the freeway from getting congested there. But we're way past that problem.
The thing I was going to say was, because it's a new feature, the worst is when people don't understand how it works.
Oh, yeah.
I had a guy see the green and the green passed and he stopped again.
Because it's so quick, it just blinks at you. Yeah.
It's supposed to be like it goes from green to red, green to red, and it's one car through at a time. The guy was like, "Oh, I missed it. I got to stop.
Oh, wait again.
I missed it. I got to stop
Just gotta
again."
keep
I'm like,
going.
"What, guys? Go."
Have we talked about this on here before?
Traffic.
You
Like
bet. These
We're old men complaining about traffic, dude.
This new system. So the new system was brought in by a police officer who came from the UK, and
Yeah, who do we have to blame?
And he's the one who rallied for it and put it through Parliament. It's been he started doing this years and years ago. I don't know which year, but I know it's been years. In the meantime, the system that they copied and they got all of the infrastructure from was being used on the M1 freeways in England. They stopped using it in the meantime because it's shit. So they've stopped installing it and even uninstalling it in locations. In the meantime,
This is like his own Ponzi scheme.
yeah. Well, in the meantime,
Taking investors and running
he's
it to the
convinced
country.
the Perth or the West Australian government that this is the thing that's going to work, while the British government is like, "Oh, this thing is terrible. What are we doing?" So it's
a little bit behind.
yeah, and that's the classic joke of when we were kids. Yes, Perth was 10 years behind everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, now with the internet, everything's caught up. We're nowhere near as behind as we used to be. But this feels like a launch back to that time where it's like, it'll take our government X amount of years and billions of dollars to figure something out that they knew beforehand.
The bad part for me is traffic starting to jam at 2 o'clock is insane.
Oh, insane.
Insane.
There's really not a time that the Kwinana, because when I'm doing the 3 o'clock deliveries at night, in the middle of the night, dream. Except they're probably doing roadworks on there and I still can't use it. But when I was moving, it's a dream. Every other time during the day, I've never come across it where it's not bad. Even up our way now, from like Whitford's north towards like Quinns Rocks and stuff, it's a traffic jam. There's like 4 houses out there. What are we doing? It's fucking crazy.
It's because the highway turns to a 2-laner.
Oh my God. I can't handle it. So we're going to fucking move on from this.
Yeah, where
because
were
I'm
we?
excited, right? Yeah, we're talking about Sarissa coming in and saving my
Yeah,
day.
yeah. We start off strong, like a nice, happy. You've had more
Straight-
time, more
How do
rest.
you spell her name?
It's
Sarissa.
Sarissa. Yeah.
Sarissa.
Do you know how to spell her last name?
Not a clue.
It's like
Her last name doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what language it is.
it's either Puss in Boots or Pussy Butt.
Yeah.
It's,
What?
She's
I can't pronounce it.
she's
I will let her
Thai,
pronounce
and
it.
it's a collection of letters that look a lot like pussy and another word.
Yeah. Crazy. Crazy.
Let me see. Let me take a look.
Great.
So
girl,
what you're
though.
saying, Danny, is that you've had some more manpower in your life to help, take some of the pressure off.
Normally what happens is I'm spending it's not about just getting here at 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock, whichever the time is, to get here on time. I now have to micromanage every single interaction that happens to a day, like during my day. If I just sleep in half an hour in the morning, it equates
Compounds.
to hours
Yeah.
at the end of the day, right?
Correct.
And it's like if I get a little hold up here and I'm really stressed at this guy because he's taking too long on the forklift, and it really affects it. The fact that now I can just ride out my day knowing full well that the boards is covered and whether yourself or Sarissa is here has made an incredible difference to like my stress levels. And like today, I drove back. I stayed up late last night to get some a bunch of accounting stuff that I hadn't done in I was holding my feet on. And then I could go to Dawesville today and then came back and did something at the restaurant that I've been also putting off for ages, knowing that Sarissa could come in, work with the customers. Everyone's good. Riley and Christian and some of the boys were here could help her with any questions she needed.
A lot of the regulars are helping her adjust.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's like, it just means that I could come through, do all these, go home and shower, which is, anybody who comes to boards regularly will come see Stinky Dan in his yellow fucking high vis. And I'm like, it's just too much all at one time. And I love all of it, but I also love being able to come in here now and like open the deliveries and play a game of Highlander with Tom and sit down with you boys and come to this point here and not be like burnt out as fuck. And I even said to Colm last week, like, because their boys were here playing fantasy, which I'm super excited to see the new league start up. I said to Colm last week, I was like, I just want to say thank you, Colm, for dealing with like Grumpy Daniel for the past 6 months, because I have so much passion for all of this, but sometimes there's so little % left of me by the end of a Wednesday. Like, because Wednesday feels
you don't have like the mental bandwidth to like you let yourself enjoy things for a little bit.
Exactly. It's just the energy. It's like, and I just feel like I'm always stressed about not getting something done. And I've loved coming back in and hanging out and seeing the boys play games and like, just hang out with people.
You've been really turning that positive energy towards the Old World League. So like what I've noticed for the last couple of weeks, now that you found a bit more like time in yourself to kind of reinvigorate yourself back in the hobby, Old World shenanigans, you've always loved Warhammer Fantasy and now Warhammer Old World. You're starting up a brand new league, a lot of excitement in the community. How many people do we have signed up?
I've got 16 people signed up.
That's
at the
good,
moment.
because we had 10 last time?
Yes, yeah. We started with 12. We got to 10 after. There's a few instances with just some personal stuff.
So good little boost, little kick in extra more players.
We're in like a casual, so we're at round 0.5. And then if people finish with 0.5, there's 0.75. And what I'm giving is a month stretch, so that if anybody sees all the information going up and hears about it, they can join in before the real league starts. I'm actually not charging any money for it. I'm going to do all this as a pro bono kind of thing. What I'm going to do and try and drive is some of the people that have had memberships come back to memberships or keep the value of the membership going. And if I can get people coming in and playing games and buying a miniature box here and there or some paints and stuff like that, I think this is I really enjoy doing this, and I think if I do it in this way, I'm gonna enjoy it a bit more.
Is this one another narrative style league?
This one's super narrative.
Do we have all the missions laid out? You have an idea in your head?
I've planned everything. When I went to my nan's, when I went to Lancelot a few weeks ago, I had no, there was no internet there, and I was
had time to think tank.
Had time to think, and I wrote up the entire campaign, or at least the bare bones.
So last time the league was based around the Border Princes.
Yes, correct.
So bordering the wildlands.
Yeah.
Is this one a different narrative?
Yeah. So we've gone into the wastelands this time around, and it's in the like northern reaches of the Empire. So still in the Empire, but very unmatched.
Northern Europe, essentially.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. It's in the same position that like Denmark and stuff would be.
Gotcha.
And there they've called it it's like a wasteland area where it's very resource rich, but it's very hard to to do anything there. Like it's lots of mountains and hills and ravines and like fog and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what the main story is the Skaven have been building these massive underground network tunnels for to mine and to excavate there. But they've kept everything with scaffolding, all the top of the land still there. But it's hundreds of kilometers, right? And because they're really bad at building things and there's definitely no OSHA there, it's all collapsed down into the ground. So now everybody sees it's evident. It's this massive crater.
So people are aware of the Skaven.
Yeah, all of the Warhammer Fantasy world are now aware.
And traditionally in Warhammer Fantasy, people didn't know if the Skaven were real or not. It was kind of
it's kind of like a meme thing. It's depending on the time frame in where you are in Warhammer, because it actually goes from there.
They were a myth, right?
Yeah, initially. They know that it's there, and then as they do all this underground secretive work to make as the generations go by, because humans live and die so quickly, they make the humans believe that it was all an old myth. But the humans knew about them 100%, and then the idea is
misinformation.
So the rat, the ninja rats would go in and they'd remove
Deep state.
Yes, it's exactly like that, right? So they'd remove.
Damn,
there's no lizard
textbooks,
men, William. Don't worry, delusional.
Some spy shit.
They'd remove textbooks and stories about them, or if there was people that were experts on the rat people, the
that
rats
actually
would
gives the Skaven a lot more
them.
depth in their because a big part of Skaven culture is infiltration and
and then ta-da!
the stealth,
stab you,
the ambush.
It's a part of them being ever present, but not people underestimating how powerful
it is.
They are.
It gives them a way more of a looming threat feel, an organized looming threat. That's cool. I like that a lot.
A lot of people disregard the end times as the thing that actually
happened, right?
Yeah, a lot of people will disregard that. But the reality is, if in that end plot line, kind of the same way that in Game of Thrones, people will say, JJ Martin,
Oh yeah.
R.R. Martin.
Yeah.
R.R.
George
Martin.
R. Martin.
George R.R. Martin. Fuck
Yeah.
my brain. They're waiting for his books to come out to replace the ending of the shows.
Yeah.
But the reality is,
Does he have an ending?
Well, he had an incredible part of writing the ending. So, like, that was his ending. You know what I mean? For the most part, he was involved in creating that, and people are waiting for his books to come out to rewrite that ending. And he's away now, writing like proper physics science books. Like he did some non-fiction stuff.
He's on a tangent. He's diverting.
Well, he mostly did this other actual real high end like physics and like space stuff, right? And he's writing tests for people going through uni who are taking those courses. So he's really smart. He's writing the tests for the people learning it. And people keep harassing him to do his dragon story, and he's like, I got better stuff to do. And you can't even he's teaching physicists, so you can't can you hardly go to him and be like, well, this is more important because it's clearly not.
You can't. There's immense
Yeah.
pressure that he's like created a product that's become this popular, and I'm sure he just wants to do his own thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's like, I could finish writing that, but I really, really just want to do my own thing.
So in the books, is it finished?
No, he's like 3 or 4 books that he said he was going to write, but he's
So-
way past the
wait,
deadline.
hold on.
He's
So
also
the
quite
series
old
is
now.
finished,
Yeah.
but the books isn't.
The
TV
TV show
series
is finished,
concluded.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
To
So
a lot
the
of
end-
fan hate.
So the ending in the book should match the.
No.
Well,
the TV show and the books diverged somewhere around the middle.
Yeah. The primary storyline all the way to the end of the books is close enough. There's things missing because, again, you can't have everything in a TV
Correct.
show that's going to be in a book, right? But after the books ended and the TV show continued, people would say that it went downhill a lot. But the reality is, again, I think the book lovers of the book series, which I read them way back before there was the TV show was done. I like them a lot. But again, it's the same thing we talk about with everything. Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. People put way too much pressure on it. Like, just like the thing you like. Like, I don't know. And I can
The
get
people
why
that
people
will
are
complain
mad
the
at it.
loudest are the purists.
Yeah, but
So-
you also get. I think you get same with Game of Thrones. It's the same as like everything when like I like the I can't forget the word. But the main Star Trek ended, and like any of those series is where people are like, oh, I
There's
hate
so
what they did to my
much
people.
pressure
Yeah.
for a TV series to end. Like, as a writer, you have no clue how you're going to do the characters justice.
There's
I
very
feel like.
few massive TV shows that people like.
We're happy with the ending.
resolvedly love. Like I feel like The Office did an amazing job.
What if you don't?
But that was a light-hearted show, right? Rather than a.
What if you don't
deep-seated
like the
drama.
ending?
One of the most loved shows. So it's like the pressure to get the last episodes right is super
Correct,
high.
correct.
You know?
What if you don't get it right?
Do you have a TV series you really loved?
Me?
Yeah.
Not really.
Any TV? Books?
Books.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Games?
I can't even finish a game. You know how long I played Monster Hunter, the new one?
The new one.
5 minutes.
Well, we get to the menu screen.
Yeah, I create a character, play till the demo, like how to shoot an arrow, and then that's it.
That's like a quick little shot of dopamine.
Did you see there's a
Done.
PC game now where the whole game is just you creating characters like D&D characters
Yeah.
or like starter characters. There's a whole thing when you start Skyrim you create a character, but it's got a huge robust menu and you can change everything in their backstories and like kind of
People
like
love that.
Yeah, and it's like the
People
whole
love it.
game is just this. And
Make
it's
your-
like it's for the people that just want to really create the thing and they'll be like, okay, I got this system out on
What
system
you,
now.
what you described as every single D&D
I don't like that part. I just want to go straight into the game.
Well, you clearly don't because you play for 5 minutes and then you're done.
No, because the whole beginning part is too long.
Oh, that's too much. I've played Skyrim so many times.
I just
that
want to go into the action, like straight up.
Oh,
the bit when you're going down on the cart.
You've
in
seen
Skyrim.
Anduin just all the time.
Oh, it's not. It's the bit when they're going down to the cart
Yeah,
and there's
yeah.
the other
Oh, you're
Lord
awake.
talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like I've seen that hundreds, and I'm like, come on, man, there needs to be a skip the cart button.
Yeah, what I do now is make a save game right before you leave the tutorial, and you can respec your character, so you don't have to just go through the
that's
goal again.
fucking
And
genius.
you just don't delete that save. You just keep going back to that one every time.
Wait, there's a new video of a guy. I don't know what it is if Skyrim's having like a resurgence.
People
at the
just
moment.
want the next Elder Scrolls game, man.
Yeah. Well, I saw one today where his character's just been made, and the dragon comes down, and he Fusro does like
Yeah.
like he does the shout, and
I didn't play that game.
What the fuck?
Also,
William?
just for
how
quick-
the fuck have you not played
Okay,
Skyrim?
for a quick
I don't
context.
even understand how we're friends. What is going on?
Real quickly,
Okay, you know what kind of
Skyrim
games?
came out in 2011.
He's had so much time.
No, I was busy already.
Go.
The game is
fuck off.
The game is 14 years old.
How old are your kids?
I
how
wasn't-
old your
like,
oldest-
I was
how-
working.
How old's your oldest kid?
9?
So that's 3 years you had to play Skyrim.
No, I was
You know what the
still
crazy
time.
part is? I think if William plays Skyrim now, I don't think he would enjoy it. It's a bit.
Come on, man. It's so good. The graphics are rough.
Yeah.
Now.
No, but
such
It's
a
not
good game.
the graphics. I don't mind the graphics. It's the gameplay.
For me, it's more like Skyrim was such a cultural moment. The Elder Scrolls game was such a cultural moment. You almost had to kind of be there for the moment to really kind of fully immerse yourself. It's the same thing with Halo, right?
The moment is
you had
still
to be
going.
there.
We're in
You
the
can still
moment right
enjoy it.
now.
But I'll have a lot of like younger friends that have given Skyrim a go and they just hate it. They're like,
They're stupid
because it's
people.
because RPG games have come a long way now, right? There's so many options out there what you want to play.
Is it
What's better?
What's that
If I
dealer
was to
game right
download
now?
a
Like
game-
you plan drugs and stuff. The
Which
new
one?
game.
What?
Have you seen the new game?
Schedule 1?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
With the
That's
shoddy
one of the
graphics, I have seen that,
meme games.
Yeah.
that have come out
You have
with
to like
friends.
cook the meth and stuff like that. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
I just think it's more like the level of quality and polish is different nowadays.
I grew up in Queen's Rocks. I
quality.
lived that dream already. Sorry, yeah.
So
I get it, but like, what RPG is better than Skyrim?
you debatable. It depends on what people like more, right? For me, I've always liked the Fallout games more than Elder Scroll games, but I like both. For example, and I can always consider like The Witcher 3 to be a better game as Skyrim, but it's debatable. It's all debatable.
I've only ever tried to play Witcher when Jackson gave it to me on Switch, and I probably said this on here, but I tried to play it on Switch, and the graphics were fucking rough.
Talking
And
about Switch, Nintendo just announced the Switch 2, which is pretty significant.
June is soon, right?
This year,
Yeah.
June, I believe. The
Not
crazy
for us.
No. So
Switch will come from Japan, right?
yeah.
Oh yeah, true.
So the Switch 1 also came out like 10 years ago. So it's been a
Oh,
long
really?
Yeah, if you think about it, it's been
Shit, I
ages.
didn't know that.
The Switch 2
Yeah,
finally
true, I
came
guess,
out.
yeah.
There's been a lot of complaints on the internet over the overall pricing of the Switch. 'Cause the Switch is coming out at $700.
We live in Australia. This
Yeah. The
normal
crazy
ass
part is
shit.
that people are really complaining about the price. Sure, but given the overall climate of how things is right now, just be glad it's not like $1,000.
Yeah,
or more. Like at this point now, everything is expensive.
I'm not saying that I have the money to go buy four
Apparently,
Switches. but
there's something with the games as well.
the games in the games themselves are also going to be like I think
$150, right?
like $80 US, which
Yeah.
means they're going to be like 120.
and you can't download. You can't. I think it's download only, right?
Yeah, there's no longer CDs, no longer little chips you get. There's no
but
game
I
on the
love
game
their little
itself now.
capsules.
Yeah.
You
It
put
makes
it,
sense,
you
though.
put it in now, and it just lets you download the game.
Yeah.
But we live in the future now where everyone's downloading their games anyway. So
Yeah.
it's for me, it's a meh.
What I think now Lucas is 14. I care less now because what I used to like is the little trip down to the shop.
Yeah.
We'd buy it together. You get to be excited about it back in the car. And what the Switch would give you is what the old like PlayStation 1 would give me is where you could wake up on Christmas morning or on your birthday,
Correct.
you have a disc, you put it in, you play the game. You could have mates and whatever. But now on Xbox or whatever, you put the disc in and it needs an 80 gig download.
Yeah.
It's fucking defeating. And how like on Christmas, I think you probably don't have the same thing with your kids because your kids are smart and read books and are way smarter than my child and me. But it's really hard to hide on a birthday if you buy my son like the new FIFA game because I've got to get it the day before and also even with shoddy internet where we live have it download for like a day and a half. So I've got to be like, don't touch the Xbox in a day and a half. He knows that I've done it now.
It's a problem that only really exists kind of in Australia because everywhere else in the world where there's good internet, that 80 gig download is like 15 minutes.
That's okay, fair. Well, that's insane. For
know what I mean?
us, for me, for now, for years, you put in like I remember going back as Black Flag. I was so super excited to play Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and I put it in the game, and it was like 2 days it took to download on my Xbox.
What kind of internet you're running?
This was before
I grew up poor,
NBN,
William.
man.
Yeah,
This is when we had ADSL too.
Okay, ADSL too. I run a dial-up. Okay,
Even
Can't complain.
even now when we download stuff, like if there's 3 people watching Netflix in the house that I'm living in now, they have to eat ass.
Back in the day, it was like I had such shitty
shut it
internet and
down.
so shoddy. When like Modern Warfare 2 would have an update, I would be like, sorry to break it to my friends. I'm not playing today. I have to leave my computer on overnight to update.
It's like same thing when I do like WoW updates. I would turn it on in the morning and then let it run through the day. And then if I got home, it should be ready. Sometimes if I forgot to do that on update day,
No game tonight.
or if I didn't click the right button or whatever, I would come back and it would be preparing to download. I'm like, why would you prepare to download? Just download on the fucking computer.
ADSL, the struggle when we had pre-fiber internet was a struggle. guys.
Was your internet back in Malaysia when you were a kid good?
no.
Like I lived through days where someone would call
never
my
good.
mum and the internet would shut off, and any functions that were
This-
happening would shut off
I had my best internet in Australia.
in Australia. Yeah.
I have like
That's
I have a 500
depressing.
meg.
If the best internet you've had in Australia is in like the internet you've had is in Australia, that's depressing.
So
So shit.
currently I'm running a 500 download speed.
That good? I don't know.
500 megabits?
Yeah.
500 megabits?
Yeah.
On NBN? Are you on a business line?
No.
Because on a regular home NBN,
We're on a business line. Internet's
no,
fucked.
on our regular NBN home line, the most you can get is around 100 megabits.
No,
So
it's-
if you want
you.
anything other than that, you have to get a business line. You have
Show
to
you,
get
show you.
a special line put in.
He's an IT guy though. Maybe you just know how to get it.
No, because you have to pay out of the ass for a line like that. A gigabit connection is you have to be in the right
Wait,
place
500?
specifically, and you have to pay a ton of money to have.
Well, I've never had that, and I have actual businesses.
Yeah. even in first world countries, not everyone has gigabit lines. Gigabit lines is like for businesses.
We are a first world country. It
You're
might
right.
not seem like that all the time, but
But let me find out how much is.
What was it,
mine.
Romania has better internet than us?
he's gonna find out now that it's like 100 megs. Is it what's a lot? What's a lot? Is a 500 a lot?
Nothing in Australia is a lot compared to the rest of the world.
What's a regular download speed?
Wait, is it 500?
There's no such thing as a regular. For example, let's say the cheapest plan that NBN provides is a 25 megabit plan, right?
Fuck, that's a lot far away from 500.
So 25 megabit plan is you probably get like 2.5 megabytes download speed. So your Steam is downloading at like 2.5ish 3 megabytes per second.
yeah, like when I'm downloading like an update to like Total War or something, it's
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
So my fixed wireless is 500 download. 200. Yeah, check it out. Five
This is
and
where
two.
Kang is consulting the phone from William.
Yeah, this is not very okay. You know what? I'll check it out later.
Right, look,
For
look,
now,
look.
I'll just believe you.
Apparently, we're
And-
all moving into William's
and
house.
we're all gonna go to William's house to
Look,
download
look,
games.
look. 500, 200. You see it?
Damn.
Are your kids willing to have a bunk
Fixed
bed like friend?
Oh, you're on a wireless plan. That's why.
Yeah, fixed wireless.
Yeah, then wireless, yes.
Use
And
radar.
right now,
It's like
right now,
he's getting lasered
no,
into his
right
house?
now, there is wireless
the-
connections that are better than NBN.
The satellite dish is just opposite my house.
Starlink,
That's what-
Starlink and all that stuff is actually so. In the past, wire technology was better than wireless, but in Australia, our infrastructure is so shit that wireless technology is actually better than wire technology in many cases.
It's really good.
Downside is wireless connections is prone to a lot more potential instabilities versus wired.
I guess don't say the things near your house because then people might be able to figure out where you live, William, within a radius.
There are like so.
That's quite
William
a
lives
lot
in
of-
William lives in like a newer-ish suburb, and a lot of the newer-ish suburbs they are trying out technologies like that. That's that 5G shenanigans going on.
Oh,
Do you think that's what killed his grasshopper friend, not the
5G?
guy?
my pragmatist.
Yeah,
You know, when 5G was installed, because 5G was installed into the country towns before it was installed to the main cities, because Australia and Telstra has this deal to make sure that like the country folk and the farms are well looked after. Like it's a big thing.
part of their contract is, hey, make sure everyone is covered. Right?
Yeah, but it's also they have to prioritize a lot of this stuff out in the country because the farmers keep
Makes sense.
the country going, right? And it's actually really good. In the most part, it's really good. They get brand new technology.
Yeah,
and
they're
stuff
big
really
old
cool.
satellites.
But they'd installed 5G way back when I was living out there. This is I don't know, maybe 3-4 years before COVID. And
I'm
then
so jealous of your 500 megabit down connection. That's crazy, William.
I'm okay.
we were in the town and they had obviously the 5G.
I don't
thing
fully
there.
use it. That's the problem.
And
too.
because there's a lot of like country bumpkin kind of guys there, right? There was a lot of discussions and like at community meetings about whether 5G was causing cancer. Oh,
yeah.
It was people were
There's
like
too many waves.
some people were like taking their kids in a different route to school now because they didn't want their
yeah.
kids near it. And it was a lot. There's a lot of it, man. There was a lot. A lot of people like, I never used to get sick and now I get colds all the time. And I'm like, oh yeah, couldn't possibly the cigarette, the fucking hanging out your mouth right now.
The 6
was-
carton of
it was-
4X gold every morning.
And I think there was something that modern about the 5G technology where it's got those shiny,
Correct.
like faceless
Because
plates on the outside. It made it look like a radar weapon.
The
I guess.
higher the frequency you go, the less distance it travels. So 5G needs in order to have a wider coverage of 5G, you need more towers.
More towers.
And you need to be pumping more electricity through it.
Well, they hide them I know Perth does it, and I assume other cities do the same thing around the world. They'll hide them as other things.
Yeah.
So you see, like a lot of the
So
time,
you don't
there's
get people
behind the
throwing
barrier.
rocks at them and stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's true as well. But they don't want people in the apartment building complaining that the 5G is causing them cancer. So what they do is they just put a screen in front of it or make it look like some plant box
Yeah.
thing, and then that's what it is on the top of the side of the tower. You'll see a
Dude,
piece of
Some
I'm
Skaven-
so-
box
dude,
with a piece of
Skaven
art.
stuff going
Yeah,
on.
I'm a computer boy, and the internet is my life. And if I have to risk the cancer so I can have 500 megabit down connection, that might be worth it.
We're getting cancer.
So what are you get? What are you running on now?
At home, I'm a 50 megabit connection.
50.
That's
Damn,
NBN.
I gotta
That's
run that
NBN.
shit.
If you're
50
getting 50, I'm probably getting
50
10.
megabits gets me
You sure it's
50 megabits gets me about 5 to 6 megabytes connection on Steam. So I downloaded Total War Warhammer 3 the other day, and that's a 70 gigabyte game.
Yeah.
That took me 5.5 hours.
Yeah, mine.
70 gigabyte game took me 5.5 hours.
It takes me about 12 hours when I re-download it. Because
let me try.
To be fair, though, on most newer suburbs with a proper NBN, like fiber to premise, if you get yourself a good plan, it should be 100 megabits. Most people should be around 80 to 100 megabits is most people's home plans, and that's going to get you a better connection. What you're actually having, William, is real world internet speeds, which is about that. I watch streamers, and every now and again, like a streamer would be like, "Oh, this new video game came out. Let's download it and play it." I'm like, "Wait,
how did you do that?"
And then it's like he clicks the button, and I watch them just like download an entire game in 10 minutes. That's the real world. That's like you just don't have to think. Like
what are we doing
Your
wrong?
Netflix is always 4K.
Is it?
Everything is up to. Everything is fast. Everything.
I put it on
Internet's
4K
always
now,
on.
yeah.
As the smart internet guys, what are we doing wrong in Australia?
Australia infrastructure is we're a massive country, super spread out, and our government doesn't know what the hell they're doing.
Is it because all that internet comes through a cable in the ocean from Europe, right?
There's effectively one intercontinental fiber line that connects Australia.
What stops people going out there and just shutting that down? Like let's say we're
Underwater.
It's massively
That
massively
can't mean
underwater.
anything,
It's massively
right?
secured, and there's also international treaties.
what does massively secured mean?
It's huge. Like these giant intercontinental fiber lines are massive, and they're built crazy. Like talking layers and layers of metal and concrete and then like plastic, and then there's also like constantly tracked and maintained.
So it's not just a tube. Like we're at war. Like theoretically,
It's not like a cable line.
we're at least war with
In a war situation, yes, they could just like fire a bomb on it and blow it up, and we have no internet.
Ooh.
But that's why wireless technology
That's why you got
exists.
Starlink, brother.
True. I probably, you know what? We probably should, considering I operate numerous businesses and
But there are a lot
Everything's on
of
one
there are a
drive.
lot of like logistics behind it because there's a lot of reason to keep him up even in times of war, right? Like businesses, a lot of businesses communication is things still matter.
like if we went to war with Bangladesh, they could just put a boat out there and just bomb the shit out of it, right?
Yeah, but it's so deep.
Doesn't mean anything.
Just send one guy out with some plies.
Honestly, I guess I'm not.
But no,
that's what I
it
can't afford.
It won't take the country offline because wireless stuff does exist as well, and the Starlink covers like basically the entire globe.
And you're right, it is deep, but at some point it has to get to the top. Whereas it gets close, it'll get close
Correct.
enough to the ocean, to the the surface. When it gets close to land, at that point it has to come up.
Well,
to
let's see. Let's see. Where does it meet? What's it called?
If you just look up a map right now, if you go to Google right now and type in intercontinental fiber lines or like the global, like you can see the pictures of the actual where they spread
In
around.
my
the world.
mind, I'm imagining the scene from Finding Nemo where there's the pipe and the
Correct.
crabs get sucked into
Basically.
it. Yeah.
But for me, it's such a cool part of as humans as we've developed and we were able to make these giant like fiber optic cables that go under the water and transmit data for an entire country.
to me, there's something about like if it's small and it's obviously can get damaged by like coral and animals and shit. But if it's too big, then it just becomes easy to target.
There's
right?
massive companies that work
What was it called?
maintaining it.
Intercontinental?
Yeah, I'll type it into your phone. Let's do it. Sorry. You guys talk real quick. The main thing for me is
Oh, talk real quick, but also
I'm talking too. I don't want to be out of the picture. I want to take a look. What is it?
But yeah. Anyway,
type
the
it.
fantasy league is going is amazing.
Oh yeah.
You typed it. Will, you typed it into Google Maps. This isn't Google. This is Google Maps.
Google Maps.
I said Google it. Just Google it.
Give me.
I'm trying to.
He's trying to find a route to it. It's like you will take 17 hours to get there.
What you do is you find it and you plug a you plug a USB into the line, so you get the craziest internet for your life. Also, data is transmitted through light. So these fiber optic cables literally transmitted through light.
Really?
So yeah, the data is transmitted through the speed of light.
Is light just electricity?
Yeah, but what these fiber optic cables are giant. What a fiber optic cable is, in essence, is a silicon glass cable.
Hold on.
On one end, it kind of is flashing a light at a frequency that is then red at the other side, and then
So it's just red hours and hours away.
Yeah.
So our line comes
but
from
it travels with the
Darwin,
speed of light.
Jakarta, Singapore cable system.
Yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, we basically have one line in Australia.
And it goes through Jakarta and Singapore.
Show Danny real quick.
Oh, we're in Perth.
Yeah. So we should get a high speed internet.
So does it travel all the way in the ocean
under the water?
super far, like even further than it needs to, so that it doesn't have to travel across land?
Wait,
Maybe is it safer in the ocean?
not sure.
Maybe?
How come Port Hedland's
I
getting a
don't-
new cable?
I don't know the logistics behind these.
What Port Hedland is the reason Portland exists is because that's where the planes and ships and stuff are put there.
Oh, right.
So you can dead sure they're making sure that it's available.
A lot of this is based around defense as well.
Yeah, the Americans and stuff had all of the northern sections and Port Hedland included.
So it goes into Perth, comes out at maybe is this
So
Queensland?
does it travel all the way
pass me
under
the
the
phone.
ocean?
Pass me the phone.
We're all looking at pictures.
Yeah, no, this is useless for us. I want to show you the global lines where it's like a spider network of like traveling across the world. So
I imagine like really small pipes. And I guess now I feel stupid.
Small
for that.
pipes?
Yeah,
no, they're
just tiny
giant.
little
They are
pipes.
giant.
Yeah.
This
I don't know, man.
This is the map of where all the fiber lines connect the world. They go under like the Atlantic Ocean and stuff.
Damn.
That's
Who built it, though?
so far.
There's tons and tons
We
and
need
tons of
some,
money into going to make the world connected. The fact that we went from say the pre-2000s where we just didn't have internet, we didn't have any of these little shenanigans, to in the span of 25 years, we were as humans were able to connect the entire world together data-wise using the power of light, like literally the speed of light.
Is there one company getting contracted to build these things?
Several.
I think it's like government.
Who gets to be in charge of that project?
Not sure. I do know that you have to like
Time to
international
find out.
Like treaties
That's
get written
homework.
so that you can be like, I'm gonna lay a cable to your country, and it'd be like you have to write a huge, massive like legality thing, and then it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think governments actually don't own these cables. I think these cables aren't owned by governments, but they're all like private. So that the idea is that they can't be owned by any country.
Oh.
Just by private oligarchs. Great.
Like, I mean, hey man, like anything else
Can you
in the world,
imagine
right?
you tax like 0.001 cent per whatever?
Well, it's funny you say this because you know how like you used to get charged for text messages back in the day,
Yeah.
and it was like a cent per text message or whatever
Yeah.
percent it was. The markup on them, even though it was really low, the cents for the per text message, the markup was in the thousands of percentage.
Yeah.
Right.
It cost so little money to send those messages, but for what they were charging us. Like, is internet just the same? Obviously, this is infrastructure costs billions of dollars, but like, are they just like?
There's no such thing as you're going to run out of data. There's no such thing as running out of data. It's just they just need a reason to charge you. Also, for the listeners, if you want to check this out, just Google global fiber map, and you can check out where all the fiber connections are in the world.
Damn, pretty
But
cool.
NBN is one of those things where like Australia we're a massive country. Realistically, our government
NBN is
doesn't
like
know how to.
shit infrastructure.
The problem with NBN is that it went through a long period of bad budgeting and government like just don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Because NBN is a government-owned
initiative.
initiative, right? It's a government-owned business, whatever it is, what do they call it, right? And then it changed hands in between Labor
Correct,
and
yeah,
Liberals.
yeah.
And in the
You know why?
in-between-
Because there's topper up. Can't gain initiative.
So in between the government change, a lot of the initial plans were rewritten for budgeting reasons, and it really fucked NBN. There's always a chip off my back because the Labor government had a huge initiative to we're going to commit for the high quality fiber, and we're going to commit to give fiber to all premises and just so go.
Yeah.
And then the Liberals cut the NBN budget by a massive amount. So then the idea is to save money, and then the NBN ended up getting delayed even further, and then the new plan ended up costing even more money. in the long
and
run.
it was a lesser service. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I built in Banksia Grove, our block was designated for fiber to the house. And again, I'm not really that smart to know what that means. I think
Fiber
it
to
It
the
just
No,
means
yeah.
that you get the fiber up to your home instead of you have copper for the remainder.
yeah. And then by the time we'd moved in and we built, and the guy came to connect it, it had changed within the month. And he's like, oh no, if you'd got your internet like a month ago, it'd be a house, but now it's fiber to the node, which is the thing that's outside the house, right? Yeah. And then so we missed off getting fiber to the house. And in the building process, we'd paid for Ethernet cables to be run all around inside the bricks to every room, so that the fiber to the house could be connected to that and then run into every room. And to this day, it's like 10 years later.
Yeah.
Like I obviously don't live there anymore, but none of that system is operated at all.
Yeah.
And that when the internet got installed, I was already out of the house. So Lucas's mum, when she paid the internet guy to come out and install it, he told her the best place to put the internet, like the modem, was inside the closet in her main bedroom. But it's primarily because that's the closest thing to where the port was on the outside.
Oh, right.
He completely ignored all of that setup that was built infrastructurally into the house, completely null and void it, drilled a brick-sized hole through the wall on where the gas heater is for the shower and everything. Above that, and that's where the internet is stored in the modem in the very front corner of the ensuite of the main bedroom. So it means like even in Lucas's bedroom, which is only like 10 meters away, there's no internet there because it has to go through all of the brick walls of the like the bathroom and the tiles and the toilet. You know, it's that's that area where, you know, like ensuite where it's like everything's all condensed, all the brick walls are really close to each other. And there's between, even though he's 10 meters away in his bedroom, there's 2 bathrooms, 2 toilets, everything in between.
The signal's not there.
Signals, yeah, if MC fucked.
Honestly, the way things are going right now, just as Australia, we're probably just going to move to wireless. If wireless keeps getting better, just whatever, 5G, cancer, what, you know, just give me the internet. Yeah. At this point, it's so much better.
Or just go down the beach and just hook your computer into it.
Yeah. I used to go to uni and bring my laptop and just download my Steam library because it's faster at uni.
It's like an educational thing. They get better internet than us.
Yeah, well, they're on a big business line. So even before, before everyone had NBN, these big businesses are actually on fiber optic lines. So they have their own like business plans or contracts.
What stops like a company that needs the internet more than us, like idiots? It's from there. Do they hook into the same? This is gonna be. I don't really know what I'm asking here, but like, do they hook into the same internet that we're hooking into? Like a bank that requires constant 100% security of the internet. Are they on a different internet than us, or are they on the same internet?
Pretty much. They're on a different thing. They're on effectively. They're on like they're infrastructurally. They're connected up to the internet differently, and they also have different protocols and different like. There's a whole different thing. Like basically, just think of it as a whole different plan.
Yeah, because like the biggest fear with like with the war and like if
but
there's
also
war and it's getting taken away is like how do you access your money?
Also,
which is all
in
online
big businesses like big buildings, there's not just one line. They have multiple lines all connected up,
powering in there.
Yeah, so for like a uni, you have every single building probably has an individual line hooked up.
Damn,
so
cool.
All right, you boys want to play Dragon Not Dragon?
Yeah, let's get back to podcasting.
This is pretty podcasting. So I wrote
talking about the real world too much.
The last week for the podcast because
last week.
Hey, listeners, let us know what your internet is like, and if would you like William's
what you should do is
crazy fast internet?
Before we leave tonight, I'll download. Kane can recommend like an app so I can download the speed of my internet at home, and I'll report.
Google
back
just does it for you. If you just go to Google and type internet speed test in Google, it'll do it for you.
All right, I will report back next week with how bad it is because it's shocking.
Okay.
All right, Boardcast episode.
So describe what is Dragon Not Dragon.
All right, Dragon Not Dragon is I've taken like dragons.
Right.
Or
how topical.
Or dragons, right?
And/or dragons.
But some of these dragons are real world dragons that live amongst us, and some of them are fictional dragons. And I've taken their key abilities and specialties, and then you've got to decide whether it's a dragon from a mythical dragon in a story that we all know,
You're like a mythical David Attenborough,
or an actual like lizard dragon that are actual lizards.
Okay.
Hey, William, how much do you know about dragons? What's your dragon like factoid?
0.
Any cool facts about dragons?
So there's a number here, and we'll tally up who's the winner at the end. All right, our first dragon, right? It can inflate its body to double its size to ward off predators. It can shoot spines and has extremely potent saliva.
Okay, so it's like a lizard. Oh,
is this a lizard or is it a dragon?
Lizard.
This feels like you could real. Like this could be real. I'm gonna give it a lizard.
Could be real.
This could be real.
This is Burford from How to Train a Dragon.
All right, we need to establish the ground rules. What's happening here? Now I know what. Okay, I
not so tricky.
So this is what we have to expect going in. Okay.
All right. The next Dragon Not Dragon. It's covered in thorny spines. It has a fake head, so if bitten off by predators, the real head doesn't get bitten off to trick predators. Is this a dragon or not dragon?
A dragon?
Wait.
You have to think about this?
Not dragon.
Not dragon? And you're going with?
I'm going dragon. Dude.
This is the thorny dragon, which is a lizard that lives amongst us here in WA, actually. It's one of our signature West Australian dragons.
Wait, why is it missing a head?
It grows an extra head on its tail,
Oh,
and
I
it
know
moves
this.
that around constantly, so that if a bird comes down to bite off its head, it actually bites off its fake head,
Yeah.
and its real head survives.
It has like a bulbous tail that it can
Let's
just drop on a whim, right? You can
go.
just like detach it.
Yeah, most lizards have that, but this one's specifically shaped exactly to
One
look like the
point.
skull of its real head. So it looks like it's got two heads. All right. The next dragon, or not dragon.
Do you get bonus points if you can name the dragon?
Oh, I'd be very impressed.
Yeah.
Some you might get. All right. This one has a large
Aragorn.
Aragorn is the main guy from Lord of the Rings, not a dragon.
Aragorn.
Who's
Aragorn?
Who's Aragorn?
The dragon.
Which one?
Don't worry about it. Keep going.
Oh, Aragon.
Yeah.
E.
Yeah.
That doesn't help me.
Keep going. Keep going.
All right. This one has a large piece of skin around his neck, and it can open wide like an umbrella when he feels threatened. It also runs very fast on two
Throw
legs.
neck
Lizard.
Frill neck lizard, right?
Correct. It is a frill neck lizard. Good job, boys. You both said real lizard.
Nice.
Because I've seen it before. It just runs on two legs.
It does. Runs very fast. I was worried about how to word that one to make sure I wasn't going to give it away, but obviously I did. All right. the next
WA
lizard.
especially, we have a lot of lizards, and our lizards are kind of cool. Got a cool variety.
This lizard can camouflage itself. It has reflective scales and retractable teeth. Is it a lizard or not lizard?
Retractable teeth.
Retractable teeth feels like a fantasy thing. I'm gonna give it a dragon.
If that's what you're going by, all snakes have retractable teeth.
In my head, I was
just-
Can be a
thinking
heads
chameleon
up.
though.
I'm thinking
I'll go to lizard.
when we think
Lizard,
lizards, I'm
one
thinking
point.
like a chameleon.
1 point. Lizard.
Could be a chameleon.
Lizard.
Chameleons change colors,
Lizard.
but they don't go invisible.
Invisible? Do you say invincible?
No.
No.
It can camouflage itself. It has
Yeah.
reflective scales and retractable teeth.
Reflective scales.
I'm just gonna commit to fantasy, and it might be a chameleon.
Oh, reflective scales.
I'm
What
gonna
about
commit. I'm
fantasy?
gonna commit to fantasy, and maybe it's like toothless.
This one, boys, is Light Fury from How to Train a
Let's
Dragon.
go. Reflective.
Are these all from How to Train Your Dragon?
Some of them.
Cause,
I found a good wiki, all right?
William,
Wait.
how many? You have kids. How many How to Train Your Dragons have you watched?
2.
All right, now ask me how many How to Train Your Dragons I've watched.
How many?
0.
Yeah, I don't think that's relevant.
Like what?
Well,
Wait.
Names.
Like Fury doesn't camouflage, does he?
This is what I got off of the Wikipedia. So
Like
apparently it
Fury
does.
doesn't. No, Night Fury is that's the wife of the Night Fury, right?
Look, man, I went to Wikipedia and this is what it said.
This is the most actually thing ever.
I've also not watched any How to Train Dragons.
So
All right, next one.
okay.
It has exceptional maneuverability. It can move sideways and can twist its head around 180 degrees like an owl.
Real
The saliva is technically flammable.
real lizard.
Technically,
Technically flammable saliva is crazy.
fantasy.
Stormcutter from How to Train a
Let's
Dragon.
go. Because no lizard has.
Yeah, you're right.
flammable
You're right. Saliva shouldn't be flammable.
Yeah, it's just a lot of bacteria.
Well, venom is generally oil-based, which is flammable.
Yeah.
So
The problem is
most
like
animals'
the
venom is
hold up on the
actually flammable.
technical part was like maybe it's some lizard.
I
out
threw,
there.
in a,
Alright.
I threw in a word.
Yeah.
All right.
I got 2 now.
The next one. It has a sparky beard-like flap under its chin that turns black when it's stressed or showing dominance.
This is a real lizard.
Dragon or not dragon?
Not dragon.
Nah, I can envision this dragon. There's like the bearded dragons, right?
Yeah, Eastern bearded dragon.
Yeah. Let's
go.
You can tell because I mentioned it's beard only.
Yeah.
All right. The eyelids are joined together. This allows them to see in 2 different directions. Dragon or not dragon?
Chameleon.
Yeah, I think this is a real dragon.
Real dragon.
lizard.
Do you know about chameleons? Because it's a chameleon.
Yeah. I know about chameleons because there's a part of me once that was like chameleons would be a sick pet. They'd be an awesome pet.
On a number of our Instagram reels this week, I put that ABBA song, like come on,
No, don't do
come
it.
on, chameleon. Just because I was in
That
dragon mood, you know?
song haunt me as a child.
All right, dragon on a dragon. It can vacuum seal its prey in its mouth. It's covered in warts and emits a homing signal that can prey on other lizards or dragons. Is it a dragon or is it a lizard?
Dragon.
I'm gonna say lizard just to be like different. chameleon.
Raptors from How to Train a Dragon.
All I've learned from this is that William's really good at identifying how to train your dragons.
I was like, what? Doesn't make sense.
I'm just hopeful for all
I'm really
lizards.
good at making sense.
I'm hopeful for all lizards.
And I'm exceptionally good at not making sense.
None of these dragons sound like they fly. Are they actual dragons?
Well, I had to cut out all of the flying things. Like the one before that said it can have exceptional movement. It's because it can fly sideways. I was like, I had to take that bit out, didn't I? So I just said it can move sideways. All right, we're here. All right. Has detachable tendrils to distract its prey. Has a tail that's split and technically translucent skin.
What? Oh, it's like an axolotl? It's like, I want to say lizard?
Maybe.
I'm gonna go with dragon.
I'm going to say lizard.
Fight Bear from the translucent bits are its wings, obviously.
I was like, hell no.
So far, what's your favorite dragon, Danny?
Night Fury.
Whichever one I shouted last.
Okay.
Dragon, not dragon.
There's so many. These are named dragons in the show. I thought
They all have names, but
I
they're
thought
very.
this cartoon was like one dragon, like toothless.
Oh, I missed
Yeah,
one.
that's Night Fury.
All right.
That's Night Fury?
Yeah.
Toothless?
Yes.
What?
His species is called Night Fury.
I don't know that.
Toothless is
I,
the
actually,
name.
I thought that was his name.
No, the name given by the writer to him.
So the one that's called Red Death, is that his name or is that his brand? Like his
Like the
species?
name given, like they have like a scientific name and like a name
Hey,
given
William,
by the writer. Yeah.
at the end of this episode, I want you to come up with your pet dragon's name.
Ooh.
What would you name your dragon at the end of the episode?
How to name your dragon?
How to name your dragon. That's
Oh, you know, like
that's my Tinder quote.
Initiative Dragon. Dragon
Small
that
fry.
gains
Help me name
initiative.
my dragon.
All right, dragon or dragon? It has 60 teeth. Its venom is necrotic, and it can smell food from very far away.
Komodo dragon.
I think this is a real lizard.
Komodo dragon.
Nice.
Man, you're good at naming the actual lizards.
Yeah,
that
I'm good at the
lizards.
actual parts, huh?
Because the necrotic part, it is like really,
a bit of science knowledge for the
You guys ever
boys
seen
here.
a Komodo dragon just eat a whole ass animal by its
No, it doesn't
entire
eat.
thing?
Like what it does is just
swallows the
bite
whole.
and then let you die.
Yeah. No, I've watched the Komodo dragon just get up to like a deer and just swallow the entire thing whole.
No, they bite the deer.
Oh, dear.
By the leg.
When was the last? Have you ever watched a video where a deer doesn't die a horrible death? Those creatures out there just dying.
I
to
get it.
things.
Yeah, they're really not designed.
Yeah.
There's that one that goes around the internet all the time where the leopard jumps on the. It's not a deer, I guess it's a goat, but he jumps on the goat and they both just fall 200 meters
Yeah.
down the cliff. It's
Well,
like,
cool.
Nobody wins. Man.
Nice. I see videos of like just farmers having a fence somewhere and then just a deer just dies on it, just runs into it and dies.
All right, this is our last dragon, not dragon.
Yeah.
It's very friendly with humans. It's quite slow, and it relies on staring at its like predators to scare them away. Dragon, or is it How to Train Your Dragon? Dragon?
I think it's a dragon.
It stares its prey to death.
Yeah, with a sassy face.
Dragon.
Lizard.
It's a lizard.
What?
What is it?
It's called a heath lizard. A heath dragon. It's called a heath dragon. It's from here in West Australia. It's very friendly with humans. So friendly that they're going extinct because they keep just trying to hang out in places they shouldn't be. It relies on threatening stares towards its predators because it doesn't really have any defensive abilities whatsoever.
yeah.
It
That's
also
like
has
every
a
Australian
massive cock.
species.
It has a massive penis that gets
Yeah.
caught on things and falls off. So the
Damn, dude.
breeding is really low.
Suffering from success.
Yeah, they'll try and breed, not realizing their penises fell off.
So their survival strategy is, man, I sure hope the humans like us.
Damn.
They're called a heath dragon because they'll quite often, if you like a country house, you'll just find them hanging out by the fire.
Yeah, they're
on
just
the
hanging
heath of
out.
the fire because it's
Yeah.
it's warm there. So yeah,
How do you spell? How do you spell it?
HEATH.
I bet he's hanging out.
Heath dragon,
The
massive penis.
there's a few species out there that are
Oh,
just
that's
dying
cool.
because humans keep adopting it as pets. Like the axolotl, the little cute little salamander creatures.
Yeah.
They're going. I think they're like a endangered species, like natively, but humans keep adopting them as pets.
I heard the same thing about crazy crabs. Apparently,
crabs?
yeah, because crazy crab death rate in
Crazy what?
crazy crabs.
What the hell are they?
What, you guys didn't have crazy crabs?
No, I had the sea monkeys.
It's cra-
Oh, you mean like hermit crab?
Yeah, hermit crabs.
Oh,
yeah.
hermit crabs.
We call them crazy crabs.
No,
When I was a kid.
hermit crabs.
Australian
I've
kids
always
will call them hermit.
I've
crazy
always heard
crabs.
as hermit crabs.
Hermit crab.
Yeah, that's probably what they're called because they're called hermits because they live in their little
Yeah,
houses.
yeah.
But in like Australian kids would be you buy them at the pet stock. They'd be called like crazy crabs.
And they live for like 1 week.
Well, they're not supposed to. They're actually supposed to live for like long.
The kids don't know how to raise pets.
Well, crazy crabs or hermit crabs would are really good at like scaling out of their enclosures and escaping. So you quite often find them like you'd be in your house and then the next morning you'd find them smushed on the road because they'd be like they've escaped all the way out there. They're actually really well known for it. But the death rate in the because they're not because they're small and like crabs and like
Everything will eat them.
yeah, well,
right?
well, it's more the things that live in shells live in the shells to protect themselves, right? So you're generally meaning their skin is more like things can go through it quicker,
Right.
So they die from like diseases and colds a lot more. And the crazy crab's death rate inside the pet stocks and the pet shops or whatever is so incredibly high. When the people in like Southeast Asia and Indonesia and places where they're farmed from mostly, they just trawl them out of the ocean in the thousands, and then they expect 50% die on the first day, 10% die on the transport. By the time you get you've taken thousands of them out of the ocean, and then by the time they get to the shop, there's like 30 left, and then they sell those 30 at like an incredible markup because they're paying these poor humans like fuck all money to pull them out of the ocean. So the death rate is so high. They're just like expecting it's like wastage. There's like 80% wastage of hermit crabs on the way to the
They
end.
just pick it up from the beach.
No, because they've destroyed. It's like back 200 years ago, you could pick up gold off the floor.
Yeah.
We've exhausted that part, and now they'd have to go get them from
It's-
stupid places.
Like the ocean is the bounty of where life has come from, right?
Yeah.
Traditionally, the ocean is where everything is able to grow to the absolute masses, right? We're talking, thousands and thousands of tuna and salmon and all the native food, like fish species and crustacean species, and then humans came around and we just fished the hell out of the ocean.
They talk about whales being, we created petrol and diesel from whales originally because there was so many fucking whales everywhere. You could just take a boat out for 10 minutes, go spear one and drag it back to shore. There was whales everywhere, right? And now we don't have no fucking whales because we've murdered them all, and now we're like whaleless. And there's like a huge part of like why they think we talk about what's the thing with the sun becoming too much right now? Global warming. Fuck,
The
man.
sun?
Yeah.
The sun.
That is
It is fucking bright out there.
the global warming is whether you think it's real or not, it is a thing that exists regardless of humans, right? But the problem is that we've sped the process up. But
I think no matter what you can no matter what side of the camp you are, everyone agrees that the climate is changing.
Yeah, what? Yeah.
But people have disagreements on why.
And
the
there's a
climate is
natural
changing.
cycle of it and an unnatural cycle of it. Of whether you sped it up, but that happens when the CO2, the sun comes down and it creates some shit, and then the CO2 can't escape, and they're like because the sunlight can't leave, right?
It stays within.
And a big part of why they think that we've kind of fucked up so much is the whaling, because whales used to be a lot and they'd shit everywhere, and that shit falls to the bottom of the ocean, and then that cultivates. Fertilizers like sea kelps and stuff like that, and from
The photosynthesis, because a massive amount of photosynthesis actually comes from the ocean.
And correct, all the
Right.
oxygen and like the trapping of the sunlight and stuff like that in the ocean in there. And because they used to talk about like there's heaps of stuff, like historical reports of like the Greeks and the Romans and like for hundreds and thousands of years. Everywhere you go, there'd be massive like sea forests of like kelp and like plantation down there. And obviously the ocean is so much bigger than the land masses, so you can have so much more plants there. They talk about now there's more vegetation on land than there's ever been in recorded in historical history ever that they can tell. There's more plants right now. So we're deforesting like the Amazon and stuff, but it doesn't matter. There's more plants
You reckon
right
that's
now
just
than ever.
better record keeping though?
No. It's like they can do it by carbon testing and everything.
Interesting.
So they know 100% that there's more plants than ever before, but it doesn't matter. We're still creating less carbon.
The part that really
carbon.
crushes me when I was younger, and it still does hurt me today, is that Australia, we have like the Great Barrier Reef, Queensland Great Barrier Reef, and the Great Barrier Reef is such a impressive like spectacle of natural wonder, where there's a massive coastline of the Queensland where the climates of the oceans and everything made the perfect moment for this giant coral reef of like just sea life to exist. And then every year, like some significant percentage of the coral reef is just dying,
hundreds of kilometers of it.
constantly just dying, just like
And
gone.
2 years ago, the Australian
Irrecoverable.
government allowed it to legally, we can just put more like a more percentage of our like waste liquids like sewage just straight into the ocean. Just straight into the ocean. You know what's fucking crazy? They did a massive test I think it was about a year ago. They tested surfers for a type of antibody that only comes from human feces. Because we're pumping so much sewage into the ocean, surfers are getting interacting with these like antimicrobial things. And it like bacteria is the word I'm looking for, antimicrobial bacteria, right? And it grows from when you get feces in your mouth. Ew. And because they're swimming around in the ocean all the time, they're getting feces in their mouth all the time, human feces, and then it builds in their system, and it can't be killed by antibiotics. And then, so what's the thing they're truly worried about? Because that's just kind of gross, but there's no cure to this bacteria. And they're worried about it if it breeds the regular bacteria that just regular people have. Because most people aren't surfing day in, day out.
Well, penicillin and antibiotics in general is like a finite thing, because eventually bacteria will evolve to become resilient to it. And if you actually track the science history of penicillin and antibiotics, we have to now use more and more antibiotics to treat symptoms and patients that we ever used to have in the past, because germs are starting to eventually evolve and adapt.
That's why they were so worried about in India when COVID happened. Most of the people in India are already like antibiotics, like they're
just spamming it, right? They're just willy nilly using it everywhere and potentially growing more of that resistant.
So the true takeaway is, if your partner, your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your partner or whatever is a surfer, do not kiss them because they got poop mouth.
Ooh. Sorry. Asians don't surf.
Yeah. And in Britain.
No, only to get to the country though.
Yeah.
The crazy part is you mentioned about the whole like poop in the mouth thing, right? You know, when people who love their pets, you know, nothing wrong with loving your pets. Oh, yeah. Like people who just like straight up will just let their dog kiss them all up in their face, and they always say, "Oh, don't worry, a dog's mouth is actually more like, you know, it's like it's less bacteria in a dog's mouth than in a human's mouth."
That's not true.
No.
It's a weird. I don't know where did
it was
that
like
come
some
from?
internet weird like meme, like some cultural like zeitgeist.
As
thing.
a little kid, people would say that to you, and you're like, and it's like, are their parents repeating that to them?
I've seen
Like,
what dogs
that
do
existed.
with their mouths. I'm 100% sure it's not as sanitary as my mouth.
You know, they used to say you let your dog lick your wounds, like your blood, because it's there, like it's
I heard that before. Like, nah.
But do you know where it came from? In your spit, you have like something that coagulates blood.
Yeah.
So that if you cut the inside of your mouth, you can't just be, because there's so much gross stuff in your mouth that you don't want to like leak like microbes back into your blood. So it coagulates it much quicker so that it stops up. And all animals have the same thing. That's why pets or any animals lick their wounds, is because then the instinct is naturally do that, and it stops the bleeding. So people would see you're not often licking your own wounds. It maybe it's something we did when we were cavemen, who knows? But it's like you're not often licking your own wounds. So when you'd see a dog lick your wound and it would stop bleeding, as stupid people would be like, oh, it must be good for it. No, the dog is just slapping it's just eating a shit out of the yard, and then it's just using its tongue to slap those microbes into your leg. So gross.
Animals, as well, so as a carnivorous, a carnivore, right? They're like, ooh, blood. Tasty.
No. I train my dog not to leak.
Not to leak?
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
Just tell no.
What does that mean, no leaking?
Like,
oh, licking.
Yeah.
You're saying licking. I thought you said leaking. No. Did you know he said licking?
I had licking.
Oh, okay. I thought
To
you
be
said
fair,
leaking.
leaking is very funny. Like the dog.
That's in my mind. I was like, what was it doing to leak everywhere?
It's like a cartoon character, bro. It grabs a newspaper and goes to the toilet.
You ever seen those people that train their cats to shit in the toilet? Oh, man.
You can do that?
Yeah, you can train.
That's what a litter box is for.
You can train a cat to like stand up on your toilet and then poop down into the water.
So with a litter box, I've never had pets. You just put it somewhere and the cat knows.
Yeah, they smell. The cat litter smell. It attracts them.
Imagine that if that existed for a human. What is a human would like? You'd be like, toilet, got shit there.
It does, like a vanilla candle. It's like it's human. It's like human. This is where you poop.
This place here is where I will lay feces.
I've seen this real diabolical like thing that people do if the neighbor's pissing you off.
This is a thing?
Yeah, you can get cat litter and you throw it into your neighbor's grass and then you water it down. because the water will break down the cat litter, but the cat's smell is so much like 1,000 times better than ours. The cat can still smell it's there, so the cat will just go piss and shit all over their lawn. So like neighborhood cats that are roaming around, yeah, and people do it to people's gutters and to people's yards, and you can just throw cat litter everywhere, and you can't see it anymore because it's like smushed down into the grass and like the water breaks it down, but the cat will smell it, and you'll just have roaming cats coming to shit and piss all over your yard all the time. So if your neighbor's being annoying, also don't do this to Northern Boards. It smells bad enough here, isn't it?
Thank you for the good idea.
Here in Ngara, we have stray animals everywhere.
Oh,
already.
yeah. There's heaps.
So-
Man, there's this big orange cat that lives out at the sandblasting place where I parked the truck. And it's aggressive looking. I'm
like
one of those
the
guys
big Don cat.
who very incorrectly thinks he could fight a bear. Obviously can't, but in my mind, I'd like to think that I could try.
Yeah.
But this cat, it might get you. And what it does is it kills the bin chickens, but then it starts to eat the bin chickens and realizes that bin chickens are a cesspit of disease. So it doesn't finish them; it just kills them. And then for the next, what will happen is
I like that it does it again. Like maybe the next one takes.
yeah, well, it's animal instinct, right? To fuck that thing up. You know, well, cats kill animals just for the fun of it. That's why they're like a holocaust to creatures, like Australian creatures. Because we'd like.
You ever want to check out the statistics on how much like small critters die to cats in
Yeah,
Australia?
there's a lot.
Yeah, they supposedly from like the 40s or something when immigration in Australia increased.
Actually, the
a
kiwi
lot.
bird is right now is in an endangered species because of introduced cats.
Oh yeah. They're actually in New
That
Zealand.
every single part of the kiwi bird is one of those creatures where it should not be alive.
Yeah.
The only reason it existed in the first place was there was no natural predators. Did you know that the kiwi bird is like a distant relative to like the emu?
Yes, yeah.
But they also the emu is massive. The kiwi bird is not massive.
Correct.
They lay eggs roughly the same size.
Oh yeah, have you ever seen the photo of the kiwi laying an
Yeah.
egg? It's like its entire body. Fuck that.
Nature
You only
fucked
need to
that
get
bird
some
up.
fiber because it's too big.
And they're also supposed to lay a bunch of eggs
You
throughout
know,
life.
you know, one British guy, when he in the fucking 1500s, someone can actually fact check this shit. But he introduced goats for him to fight. He's out there boxing goats.
Wait.
to hunt.
All the people like on the original sailboats come to the country and they bring in their supplies and they bring in all the things they need to live. And he brings the goat.
brings goat.
Why are you bringing the goat? Oh, I need to fuck this
He
cunt
just
up.
punched it in the face. He introduced goats so he could go hunting. Those goats now, like 200 years later, whatever the fuck it is, have killed over half the foliage in the country. They've bred and they get because goats are really good at climbing mountains, so they just fuck off into the mountains, which is New
And
Zealand.
nothing
most of the
kills
mountains.
them.
And they can't. Even the humans can't get them. So they send helicopters up into the mountains to shoot them from the sky because there's no way to hunt the goats anymore, and they just like breed like crazy and they just trample everything and like plant. They just eat because goats and like sheep and stuff like that eat saplings. So like it's like there's the most nutrients, but that means. Even the plants have, they've been there for thousands of years. They've grown to evolve to expect the vegetation that's there. Things grow and adapt, but over time, you can't just adapt to a billion goats out of nowhere. So even the plants grow slowly and all the saplings get eaten. So new versions of the plants come through. They can't survive. So one guy wanted to hunt goats in New Zealand, destroyed half the plants in the country. Fucking mental.
Common story.
Yeah. He should have fought more goats.
Dude, he was bad at his job.
He's bad at hunting goats.
He left too many out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
How did we get here?
I don't know. Who knows?
What was the
I didn't even,
Dragons.
finish the thing we're talking about with the
The
fantasy.
dragons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, who won dragons?
I won.
Dragon or dragons?
yeah.
I got a bunch of the.
No.
He did get a bunch of
Lizards.
the regular lizards.
No,
yeah.
you get it correct with me. So
No.
I got the ones that you got wrong.
I could name the lizards, and you
You
couldn't
get
name
extra-
the
you-
how to
you
train
name
your
like
dragons.
trees.
Maybe
I named like 5 correct.
the listeners, they're gonna listen. They can report back to us who won. 'cause
Yeah,
they
let
all
us know
pay
in the
more
comment
attention.
section. Do you prefer
Thank
real
you.
lizards or dragon man over here?
Do you guys listen to podcasts?
Yes.
Occasionally.
Like, what kind of podcasts do you listen to?
I listen to Joe Rogan a lot.
At the moment, I've been tuning into the Conan O'Brien. That was a Conan Needs a Friend podcast.
Oh yeah, okay.
I like him because he used to be on the air, so he has a very classic presenter voice where he's quite eloquent. He's actually he's naturally funny, which helps. And he has still that Hollywood connection where he can have friends on and comedy friends on.
Oh, it's like big dudes.
Yeah, and also
Big
it's a
famous
nice
dudes.
compact podcast. It only goes for an hour.
Oh yeah.
I like
it fits my time
facts
schedule.
kind of podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't like talking about rubbish.
I was clearing some like timber out from the restaurant that I'd been storing there, and because I like follow the Tottenham Hotspurs, and I was trying to listen to them talking about the budgeting that they were doing for buying and selling players, and they were listing players and they tiered them for value to like what they've got for them as they come and went. And I tried to listen to this segment of like 5 minutes as they tier listed the players 5 fucking times, and I had to reverse back and then play it again. I'd get to the end, I'm like, fuck, I didn't listen to it. And I'm doing a task, so I am doing something else. But I'm like, I don't know, I couldn't make myself listen to the thing. And I'm like, I wonder how much of people listening to podcasts is just white noise accompanying them doing something else, or you sit down and you take in the podcast.
I think those kind of podcasts are the white noise podcasts. But there are podcasts which I will every now and again seek out just to, enlighten myself, like the Andrew Huberman podcast.
Yeah.
Where he's a neuroscientist guy. He does a lot of the podcasts where it's like, like how to combat like, your attention span or things like self-help, very self-helpy stuff. And that's like, I'll put it on and I'm trying to listen.
Are you doing nothing else and just listening?
Usually very minimal. So it'd be like, I'm just cleaning or I'm just driving.
Do you do yours when you're like sorting cards and stuff?
Yeah.
Or do you take time to sit down and just listen to it?
I'll just do it while I'm doing something else, like driving or.
I have found that when I walked the dog, I would take in more because I'm just walking.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like a conversation you're having with someone. Like when
It's
I
crazy
listen to podcasts,
because I would think I would be able to listen to things in the gym, but like my brain is too focused on like
Because you're counting.
the
Counting takes the preference.
Yeah.
So you'll be doing like a set of, I'll have like dumbbells and they're, 805 kilo dumbbells and I'm doing something.
800. Yep.
I tried to go big number but not reasonable. Then I went too unreasonable, but whatever. It's like, but you're doing your like dumbbells and you're counting like
805 pounds. That's reasonable.
Yeah, that's like 12 kilos, right?
So
How's your gym been going, Kang?
you know what? I catch myself in front of the mirror every now and again. It's little bits,
Damn.
but it needs to be. For me, in my brain, it's like the little bits of progress. do
small
help. Seeing the
steps,
visible
small
help.
steps.
I like that Kang's being humble about it because after I get a massive pump on, I rush home as quickly as I can to stand in front of the mirror and take my shirt off
Yeah.
to see how big I look because you need that. There's
I
a
pose,
window there where
I
you're
pose in
pumped
the
up.
change room gym, but I do it in a way where it's like I need no one to see me do it. I'm not confident enough to have other people see me do
I like
it.
thinking if Kang goes into the cubicle toilet and he pulls out of his bag, like his gym bag, like an expandable mirror.
yeah.
I like that he put.
Like an Inspector Gadget hit a button. Yeah.
Oi, did you see that? I saved on my thing the Inspector Gadget. You know the new Skitari model that's really high with a sniper rifle.
Yeah.
Somebody made that into a Inspector Gadget, but he used like the antenna that you'd have on the old radios. So you know how you could like pull them out and it would extend. He turned those upside down, made that into his legs, so you can extend his legs up even further. It's actually fucking funny. I'll share it on the thing. It's very, very good.
I actually can't remember. Did we ever get around to doing William's character for your little village?
Oh no.
Did we?
We're just
Do
gonna
you know about this, William?
No.
This is the test. Do you know about what's happening here with Danny, where he's interviewing like regulars of the Northern Boards, and we're going to all be part of a fancy little town?
We've mentioned it to him, but he's still looking confused. We've
Yeah.
definitely talked to him about
Okay.
it, but he definitely hasn't listened back to it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Confused.
Should we do it? Do you
Sure.
have it? Do you have the notes?
It's right here. Because we're just going to call this
Are
dragon.
you sure we haven't done this?
Yeah, 100% haven't done it.
Okay.
Yeah, because we had the last two were like hours, so we like scooped in.
Oh,
right?
yeah, you're
So
right.
that we're just going to call this the Dragon Month. So I'll come up with what are we at now? I'll come up with one more dragon thing each for the next two weeks.
We're just committing to
we're
the
just
bit?
committing to Dragon
We're committing to dragons?
Yeah.
Tune in next time
Double
when we just
dragon.
all play Skyrim.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
We can make William play Skyrim for the first time. Hey, William, what fantasy race would you play?
Nothing.
If you say humans, I swear to God.
I just want to go straight into action.
Instead of dragon, not
Did
dragon.
you play Nord when you played Skyrim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I play white guy with who'd same haircut. Now I'd have to do white guy with beard and bald, which is I don't want to play bald guy in game.
I think the whole point of RPGs is to allow you to self-insert. You know, you can just you're a white guy, so you can just be a white guy.
all I do is I just make a guy who drives a cart and has hair. Like it's just everything I do in real life right now, but he has hair.
every video game character now, it's like I make it, and I'm like 5 minutes in, I'm like, oh, I've made generic Asian guy.
Do you have a go-to name when you play a game?
Nah, I try and actually fit it a little bit. If I'm bored, I'll just do Kang, and every now and again, I will be like,
Your name is like a cool starter name anyway.
nah, monosyllable names, nothing cool about it.
Nah, you don't-
all the cool like fantasy names is like Juraxus. You know what I mean? Like they're multiple syllables.
Kangness.
Yeah.
Kangness.
Kang Rolda.
My name sounds like one of the beginnings of like a shout.
Yeah, you need like yours is like Kang. The Conqueror.
All three. Actually, you know what it is? You know how the dragon shouts in Skyrim are just three monosyllable characters? My full name is just three monosyllable characters.
Yeah.
I'm
there.
already a dragon shout. Except it does something like not super useful. You know, there's one like first order that pushes people down.
I
and one makes you
know,
go fast.
something about Skyrim. Is it like I'm an adventurer? So I took an arrow.
Yeah,
to the knee.
that's where the meme
exactly
comes
what's
from,
going on.
dude.
Yeah.
This is where this
You'll
is the
learn,
whole
it's
point.
you're getting culturally enlightened right now. You don't understand how much you missed, how much of YouTube
okay.
was Skyrim.
It's funny because that whole meme of the I was an adventurer took an arrow to the knee is the whole point of the town that we've built.
Yeah.
Because the whole idea, right, in D&D, you go into a place, into like a town, and there's quest givers, right? They're NPCs.
Yeah.
So this town is built on NPCs, but the NPCs are all characters who used to be adventurers, who are the people like Riley and.
So we're a retirement town.
Yeah, we're like a retirement town. We're all characters who've gone through some sort of small issue, and now they've had to retire to the town. They can't go on adventures, so they've become quest givers. So William, right? You need to come up with a name for your character at the end of this little story or the end of the show, whatever we're going to do here. And you also have to have a name for your business. I'm going to give you your business and describe your character. So you have to name your character and name your business.
Yeah.
Okay.
And name your dragon, though.
Oh, and how to write it. Could be your wife could be a dragon.
Okay.
All right. William, you are a shapeshifter. Okay. You're a wizard.
Hey, not a bad start so far.
You can summon an eternal pool of magic.
Oh.
So you can offer to the townsfolk,
So far, so good.
offer services to the townsfolk.
You're the town wizard. You're the wizard that like lives not in the
I
town.
already have the name. Okay.
Okay, good start.
Right.
So you're like the wizard that lives not in the town, but in the tower off to the hill. Right?
He's on it.
Okay,
right?
okay.
You've taken the words right out of my proverbial
All
dragon.
right. Go on.
You are an incredible, one of the greatest magicians, wizards, magic men of all existence, and you're actually a dragon.
Oh, not
But
bad.
you shapeshifted into human form.
Okay.
To work with the populace.
Right.
But unfortunately, you fucked up one of your spells real bad, and you've bound yourself to your mountain cave lair. But you're still an incredible cave wizard now.
Ooh.
You're infinitely
You're on house arrest.
powerful. You just can't get out of your cave.
Okay.
So townsfolk come up to your cave and you offer them services to bring food and snacks and
Right.
other things you would require to be there.
Okay.
Venezuela
Is this like
inflation video.
a
That's something
fairy tale like story where like William is freed by a true love's kiss?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. So you
Okay, go on.
So you're a dragon that shapeshifts into a people to offer
Dib's
services.
not kissing William.
I got an idea
Not
already.
surfing.
Yeah.
All right. So you got to have a name for your service business, your magical
easy.
service business, and your character.
Guess what's the business name? Eternal Magic.
Oh damn!
Damn it.
That's smart.
He found a way to sneak into sponsorship. He found a way to market his own.
Keywords like eternal and then magic. I'm like, it's called
Oh,
eternal
I
magic.
had that idea initially,
Yeah, I was
and then
like-
I forgot about it.
What the hell,
That's
bro?
why I wrote Eternal Pool of Magic.
Oh, dude. This retirement
like,
village is sponsored
"Nani?"
by Eternal Magic.
I also, because we planned this ages ago, I also wrote Venezuela inflation video in Dreamhouse, but in the same notes, and I got really confused, and I was like, what am I doing?
fantasy-
Why is Venezuela
It's a
here?
fantasy village in
And I
Venezuela.
realized because it was when we talked about Venezuela, the video.
Yeah. What is your character's name, though?
I call it Eternatus.
Eternatus?
I do like that he sounds a little bit like tinnitus. So he gives you hard of hearing.
Because it's like a
dragon.
dragon,
Eternatus, the dragon, who's
Yeah.
eternally
I don't
trapped.
think we need to write down
in
the
his
name.
cave.
Eternal.
Not bad.
Yeah.
See?
You got a decent gig.
Eternatus is
You're
like
the
a Pokemon.
So now that I've convinced
Wait.
Izzy to don't name it, to start on my logo for
Yeah.
my new gym clothing thing, I'm one step closer to get him to paint or like to
You have a picture? You
Design
know what
up.
you want to look like? William?
Eternatus.
That's what your dragon looks
that's
like?
some RuneScape escape
Yeah, that is a
looking
RuneScape
dragon.
dragon.
Yeah, it's like
Eternatus-
Eternatus from Pokemon.
That's a Pokemon?
Yeah.
Man, Pokemon real.
Eternatus is a dual type poison dragon legendary Pokemon. Eternatus
Does that
runs
look,
eternal
does
magic.
that look like a Pokemon to you?
Yeah, Pokemon now is like this is like
I'll be honest.
Hmm.
Nowadays, new Pokemon don't even look like Pokemon to me.
It just looks like no one's tried.
No. Because like Pokemon, you have like the base level, and then you have like normal, and then you got mythic,
like
and
the
then
evolutions,
legendary,
right?
Like mythic and legendary stuff.
Yeah, there's like gods in Pokemon now.
Yeah.
So
So,
like,
like,
you know they got gods? Some of the Pokemon are gods.
Yeah, Arceus is god.
Arceus,
Arceus.
Arceus, yeah, Arceus, something like that.
If humans could evolve like Pokemon, what's your next evolution?
Then at this,
Yeah, what
I'd be-
what would you evolve? Like, what would you your new power?
I'd just be like fucking jacked. Just like so jacked.
every tier,
Yeah, with hair.
every tier of you is just
I shoot wigs.
Bigger and
I
wider?
shoot wigs from my. I whip my hair like a you know. Like
oh,
when
you know
go
what that
to-
is? That is just Machamp.
yeah,
That is Machamp.
Fuck.
Machamp evolution is just it gets more jacked.
It just gets more jacked. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
that guy. I evolved from whatever Pokemon I'm into Machamp.
What do you will?
Yeah.
Oh, he goes from William to a dragon.
Nah. William
You,
would
you
be
Magikarp. You go from human to dragon.
William's
No
got
skip.
3 evolutions, right? The first one is like a small, like cute little, like I don't know, like creature looking thing.
Sure.
But it has like little hand things. I want to say they look like the things from Yu-Gi-Oh! The like the blades that go on your arm, and it
yes,
shoots
dual
cards.
discs.
Yeah, it shoots cards, right?
Yeah.
And then when he evolves, he gets bigger, and maybe the blade encompasses more of its arm now. But now he shoots packs.
yeah.
And hits you with packs. And what's the third evolution?
The booster box.
Yeah, booster
No,
box. Like,
he has cannons
There's
out of his-
cannons. Yeah,
Blastoise.
square-shaped cannons, and it just shoots boxes at you. And you'd be like, you know, you're getting hit by the boxes and it's money. But
And if you get hit by the
you're
booster box, it
boxes.
automatically deducts it out of your bank account. You have no choice in the matter.
And then there's a fourth secret one where you just evolve into like
business.
You're just like this ethereal visage called Hasbro, and and I was like, and all it does is it just overwhelms you with product.
Every month.
When he fights your Pokemon, you're like in the dueling battle, and what it's really doing is destroying your credit card on the side, like it's draining your credit card.
Yeah.
You go home, you got to fix your Pokemon needs some bandages. You go to pay for it at the 7-Eleven, and your card's done. You're like, oh fuck.
All right, speaking about cards, before we wrap this up as well, obviously we're in the season of Take Dragonstorm Magic Set. Big, massive release for us. We just had our pre-release going in. We've already sold through our collector boosters. Holy moly.
You sold on Friday on release.
Yeah.
They were sold out by
Monday.
Yeah, by Monday. Like there was like 4 or 5 packs left on Sunday.
Over the weekend, we went from our entire stock of collector boosters to being gone.
You know, because Sarissa opened up for me. What day is it today? Wednesday.
Today is Wednesday.
Must be today. Today or yesterday? I can't remember.
Monday.
But
she opened Monday, Tuesday?
She's been here every day actually.
Yeah.
But she walks in and I walk in, and she's like, "How much are these ones? They $10?" And she pointed to the collector boosters, and I was like, "You did not sell any of these for $10."
Yeah.
And she says she hasn't, but I just
You know what the funny thing is? She did the exact same bit to me. Yeah, because
Isn't it a bit?
Tom grabbed a collector booster, and she's like $10, right? And I was like, my heart was like,
because like we don't get them for anywhere close to $10.
Yeah. so
But it's crazy how much they've sold through. Have you got any All Stars out of the I know you guys aren't playing anywhere near as much as you used to, but I was a little concerned this set was going to fall a little bit to the wayside for people that weren't as interested in dragons. But there's some fucking bangers. Have you guys got anything like? I know we've done this before.
I've spoken to Death
cherry
last
picks.
episode. Last episode, I already spoke to Death about it. So
I hadn't seen it, and I'm really excited to put it into. But I bought off Eternal Magic, which people
Thank you very much.
should bought it from Eternal Magic. But I got myself an Elspeth Stormslayer, which
Yeah,
is the new
she's fantastic.
Planeswalker. Now, a lot of people who play with me at the club, one of my favorite decks is a Heliod deck, and I use the original Heliod
Yes,
from
it's a cleric's deck.
Journey to Nyx, yeah,
Right.
And it's a cleric. I built it mono white. I wanted to really, especially back in the day, 10 years ago when I built it, I really wanted to ham myself as much as I could. So I built it as mono white, and it was cleric tribal. And back in the day, mono white, people up until 2 years ago, it was the piss take of like mono white was absolute trash, right? And so it was
Heliod was good, but the rest of the deck just wasn't there.
it also actually wasn't that good. Like he gives everything vigilance, and for 4 mana, you can make a 2/1. Shocking payoff. Absolutely shocking payoff.
I guess what I was trying to say is, of your mono white options,
Yeah.
he was still up there.
People do things like Elish Norn, where it just automatically gives all your stuff 2/2.
A little bit lame.
Neg 2/2s. There's oppressive stuff, but there's just no support for it.
Oh
right?
my god.
Yeah. So I've over the years, I've made it significantly better, and now it's like actually got a good amount of control, right? But I really avoided to keep the theme. It's all clerics. It's very Heliod based. I've got Heliod based spells. There's a really strong theme, and I don't want to break that. I've avoided putting in some other things that would break the thing a lot, but make the deck much better.
Yeah.
So like Mondrak was from the
March of the Machines.
March of the Machines, and it's
Phyrex or Obi-Wan, one of those.
It's a giant Phyrexian monolith creature that most importantly doubles your tokens that you make.
Correct.
So the whole deck is built around, you spend 4 mana, what extra value can you get off that? Does the 4 mana get you 2 tokens? Is the creature now going to gain you life when it enters?
Heliod
the
makes you a
cards?
cleric.
It makes you a cleric. And
You want to maximize as much clerics.
and the 4 mana for a 2/1 payoff is so fucking bad. I've built the deck to try and maximize the payoff for that, and I've done quite a good job now. But I didn't want to break it with something like Mondrak, or there's that Aztec card where
the
it's
doublers, right?
yeah, the double tokens, right? No good.
yeah.
But Elspeth,
Ojatak?
yes, the Ojatai or whatever, Ojatak or whatever it is, right? Same thing. But I don't want to put Aztec guys in my very cleric, like
You want to keep it on
Greek-based,
theme.
like
Top down, you
religious
want it
theme.
to be flavored.
Absolutely. But Elspeth is from the same plane. She's turned into an angel. And most fucking importantly,
Static line.
If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many
She's
tokens
a
are created
token
instead.
doubler on theme.
So for 4 mana, I can at least get 2.
5.
Yeah.
What?
She's
5
5
mana?
mana.
No,
She's
sorry,
5
4
and
mana
2.
for my commander.
Yeah,
main
yeah,
tokens.
yeah. Right, right.
Sorry. But she also has a static 0 plus a 0 ability, whatever things is. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control that's creatures gain flying until end of turn. So she's both a token doubler and a finisher move.
A
for the deck.
3/2 flyer is actually a threat.
A 3/2 flyer is actually a threat, but it's also giving it to every creature.
Correct.
Because
That's crazy.
Heliod makes them all vigilance. She makes them all flying. It's
I rate her as an overall
Magic Gods
package because
came in.
she doesn't have an ultimate, but her -3 is just zap a big creature, which will always be present in a
it's-
commander game.
Same thing in mono white. You've got Swords to Plowshares and Path to Exile, and then you kind of fucked a bit. There's the gift one with the elephants.
Yeah.
But it's like otherwise you're board wiping, and I feel I never want to fall into that trap with mono white where you're just constantly board wiping and people expect
lame.
that. Yeah, it's people know that's coming.
Especially when you have an indestructible god, so you can get away with board wiping.
Yeah, I can. And in white, you are also rewarded with a lot of cards that say
Indestructible.
like, indestructible for the turn. So I will quite like a good strategy is to board wipe and do that. But it's a little predictable and it's a little lame. And now the decks, I always have this thing. Once something gets good, unless it's a Highlander where I want it to continue to get good. When some of my commander decks get too good, I want to scale back a little bit, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just to make it a bit more fun. I don't want friends that I'm sitting down with, like Nick, who plays commander here. He's like deathly scared of my mono white clerics. And
You've been burned by it a few times.
yeah. And I'm like, Nick,
It's out for you now.
It's mono white
Go on a zap
cleric
you.
tribal. Like this is not the worst of the worst that's out there. But yeah, I think I've given him PTSD. He's like, every time I sit down, he asks me to play all the time. But he's like, but don't play the cleric deck. I'm like, all right, sure. But I'm super excited to have this in to add this in there.
It was one of the cards where we did talking about Tarkia Dragonstorm, of course. As part of the big release here on all the boards, we did our unboxing video, our collector booster box. We'll have a video up for that one this week. So if you're listening to this episode, which I won't have out actually, never mind. By the time you listen to this episode, we'll have the video out.
Is the new is the last episode up? Or
Yeah,
it's up.
It's up.
Oh, nice.
I really wanted.
I've updated my command, like my dragon commander deck.
No, you have to. There's so many new dragons.
Oh my goodness, so
One
powerful.
of my wish list pulls from our box was to pull an Elspeth. We didn't get there, unfortunately. We got a couple other really cool pulls, so check out the video when it comes up. But otherwise, we got that coming out. Obviously, more episodes coming out all the times.
I have no interest in watching any unboxing videos ever. I think it's fucking boring. I loved the format that you did it in. The first one, I'm surprised you don't see it more.
Yeah.
Like the mates just sitting down having a chat and a yarn. I actually really enjoyed it.
The format's a little bit easier now because I'm starting to use the wireless microphones more. I'm trying to figure out the kinks on that one there. Should be okay. It means that we can all get hooked up a microphone, a bit more clearer audio. Otherwise, yeah, more things coming out. There'll be more Tarkia Commander parties coming out.
You know what's
new
proper tits as well? Like I'm super, like this week's really like, I feel like it's the stars are aligning. They're all dragons in my eyes. We're doing podcast tonight, which is Wednesday, right?
Yep.
And then every second week, my mate Tom, who I've bullied relentlessly on this podcast, comes back, right? From swing. And every swing he's here, I fuck up. I work real late. Something goes wrong and we don't have any time to play. I think probably the last 3 swings he's been back on, I've played 2 games the entire time in those 3 swings.
Right,
So
right.
This is like 6-7 weeks of like time for him. tonight we're podcasting, which means tomorrow night on Thursday I can stay back a little bit later and play some games. Not smart, but I can. Tomorrow during the day, I'm not going on the truck at all because Lucas has states. So I can do the work that I need to do tonight and then go states and not be fucked for tomorrow, which means I can finish a little bit early tomorrow and we can come play cards at like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So if anyone, if you want to come play cards, you're welcome to come play cards. I was going to say anyone, but it's the podcast. But it's like we're doing that. And then on Friday, a major chunk of my job for that day booked in got moved to next week. So I can sap a little bit later on Thursday as well. So I can play cards early. I'm going to get more than 2 games done that day. And that's fucking amazing.
Get a little week to treat yourself.
Feel a little bad because Connor's normally it's me, my mate Damo.
Dude, he's out there fighting.
Yeah, Connor's gone over to Thailand to like.
Oh, really?
He's doing some proper Muay Thai training there now.
Have you got him on Instagram?
Yeah, I've been watching
today. Did the amazing race filmed at the place he's doing
cool.
his Thai training training course.
Great.
Yeah, so
we turn the TV on. He's in the background.
That's what I'm hoping, man.
Nice.
He's a cool white guy looking with tattoos and dreadlocks. So he'd fit perfectly in the back of a screen.
Yeah.
Background guy.
Is he doing some?
If Connor never told me he does Muay Thai, I could guess he does Muay Thai.
Yeah,
it looks like he does Muay Thai.
Yeah, he's training for. He's doing a 3-week training camp.
3 weeks.
He probably won't do competitive stuff, but he's doing training for competitive stuff. So
Damn.
It's like if it's a passion. It's a passion. You're gonna go and try and improve yourself as much as you can in a little span of time. And also embrace that culture of where it kind of originated, right?
As someone who trained combat fighting for a long, long time, and likes to think that he's pretty good at it, Connor's actually not bad. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's very, very sharp.
And those boys there that live and breathe it, they're those Muay Thai boys are crazy.
Now that I'm out of training for quite a few years now, like pre-COVID was the last time I trained. And I would train all 15, 17 years doing Muay Thai and kickboxing right after that point. But now that I'm not done up, Connor could probably fuck me up.
Yeah.
And as a big ego jerk man, makes me feel I need to get back into training because I can't have my best friends beat me up.
This is one PSA. If you're not a guy that knows how to fight, if you've never actually gone through any sort of real regimented combat, don't go out thinking you can fight.
Oh no,
don't.
As somebody who worked in nightclubs, even if you know how to fight, don't fight people because you're gonna die. You know,
just run.
The amount of people that I found out after I watched them go into a coma, someone's like, oh yeah, he trained boxing for 10 years, but he got punched in the back of the head by someone in a nightclub. Doesn't mean shit. Don't fight people. Well,
just run.
William, I know your heart, it tells you to just fight everybody you see, but you just need to calm down and make responsible adult choices, you know what I mean?
I think I've heard
don't fight them. Just be petty.
A very good
follow their car home and throw a brick through the window.
someone
no one gets hurt.
Someone who teaches
petty about it.
Martial arts and stuff. The first advice they give is if the person takes out want to fight you, you just turn and run.
You just walk away.
Just run.
Fuck off. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, just walk away.
You could be the best fighter ever, but you can get unlucky. And you could be the best fighter ever, but there's 2 of them. You
I've
can be the best
heard
fighter
that
ever, or something slip over by accident.
A big part of teaching fighting is more about realistically, self-defense is just de-escalate.
Yeah.
If you can de-escalate, defend yourself. Don't go out trying to fight someone.
My favorite strategy was always you drop your own pants and like a crazy person.
Yeah.
And then people be like, I don't want to touch that guy.
That's that's I've always thought about it where it's the how homeless people fight, where you just start shitting everywhere and then no one wants to fight. It was big.
Man, I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, because once you start defecating everywhere, no one wants to fight you anymore. Once
you start defecating everywhere, it's fucking funny.
If I was to get, I saw a video where it was this guy was going to get arrested by some, I think, mall security guys, and he just started shitting himself. And immediately the mall security was like, nope, not it, man. I'm not doing this.
Dragon, not dragon. You hang out in malls and you shit yourself to fend off predators.
All right. Thank you very much for tuning to this episode, guys.
Thank you,
Take
guys.
care, everyone. Stay safe out there. Enjoy some taco.
Don't defecate everywhere.